Hello everybody, this is Naomi here for the Let's Chat program. Today we are chilling here by the river with one of our special guests, Mr. Delroy Nestor Williams, agriculturalist, writer, and youth leader. Hi Delroy.
Hi Naomi.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine, I'm cool, chilling, enjoying the river breeze.
Okay, that's good. Tell us about Delroy. Well, who is Delroy?
Delroy is a young man who was raised in Bafa State. At an early age, he got exposed to a number of leadership roles, and as such, I found myself being involved in a number of groups, and now I am basically looking at more at using my role as a youth leader to expose my writing, which is a talent that God gave me, and I really and truly appreciate that the feedback that I've gotten so far, and I'm hoping to develop it even further.
Okay, now besides your regular 8 to 4 job, which is doing agriculture, what other interesting things are you into?
Oh, I'm involved in a number of interesting things. I am involved in a number of organizations. The first and foremost, the one I think that most people know me for is the National Youth Council. I am the General Secretary, and that in itself brings me to do a lot of interesting things, raising awareness about a number of issues. Some of the more important issues that I like to speak about is child abuse, HIV/AIDS, and domestic violence, gender-based violence. I am also involved in an environmental organization called the Dominica Youth Environment Organization, and also an agriculture organization, National Association of Youth in Agriculture, and those exposed me to a number of other areas as well. I think I know every inch of Dominica, if I might say so, because I get to go on a lot of hikes, a lot of exploratory activities, so that in itself is a lot of fun.
Give us a little insight into the agricultural part of your life, the writer part of your life, and also the youth leader part of your life.
Well, as an agriculturist, I work 8 to 4 most days with the Ministry of Agriculture. My base is Salisbury. I recently got transferred to that area where they are mainly vegetable farmers, and as such, my day involves visiting these farmers, giving them technical advice, training them in various aspects, and also planning programs for their development as well. My other life, my youth leader life, usually begins in the afternoon, late in the afternoon, and I'm involved in a number of community groups, assisting young people to develop themselves through their various skills and talents. I also, as a youth leader, find myself volunteering for a number of other organizations besides just youth organizations. And my writer life is the life that I participate in late at nights. When everybody else is sleeping, they're writing poems, they're writing short stories, and I really and truly enjoy that part of it the most, writing.
So you're the most creative in writing at night?
Yes, at night. Usually what I do, I buy a Coke, a 2 Shirley biscuit and something, and I am, yeah, you're laughing, that's the usual routine. Like around 10, 11 in the night, I start writing until I get tired, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I go to sleep. If I don't have a Coke, or a Shirley biscuit, or even a chocolate, I don't feel in the mood to write.
So you get the famous writer's block?
Well, yes, at times it does happen, but I always tell myself to get out of writer's block, the only thing you can do is to keep on writing. So I always keep writing.
Okay, a little bit more into your writing. I've seen and read a lot of your work, and it is really good. Tell us what type of writing are you into?
Well, mainly short stories and poetry. I write all types of poetry, and short stories I usually use the Dominican environment to bring out my characters. I think that's what's lacking in a lot of our material. It is not really tailored to Dominicans, and the scene or the scenario in the story is not really Dominican, so our ability to relate to the story is not necessarily as good. For instance, when I write my story and I use Roseau, I think that the person can visualize themselves walking through Roseau and exactly see themselves in the story. And I usually look to doing that. So that's one of the things that I think that works for me.
When I'm reading some of your stories, I imagine myself as one of the characters. So like I said, your stories, they are really good and I enjoy reading them. Why did you choose to become a writer? What inspires you?
Well, I think writing chose me actually. One day I was just at a literary festival at the UE Dominica, and there was an open mic, and I had some poetry with me, and I went up to the open mic and I read some poems. And then they were like, these are really good, I got some positive feedback that I should continue. And as such, I joined the literary festival as a committee member, and I've been on the committee since then. And then I continued writing, and the positive feedback really inspired me. I started a Facebook page and a blog where I share my stories, and the feedback from not just Dominicans but people all across the world has really given me that impetus to continue. As such, I also entered a number of competitions, and I won. I came second and first, different places in a number of them, and so that in itself allows me the drive to continue writing.
Do you have any writer that you look up to?
Yes, I have a number of writers that I look up to. Patterson is one of the writers. Also, Derek Walcott, his poetry, I read a lot of it. I don't use it for inspiration because every writer has his own voice, but I read a lot of his work. Locally, Ali Klaza, his last book, The Kalinago Blood, I think that was a very, very good book. I actually took one of the paragraphs in that story and created a new scene. I'm hoping he doesn't take offense to that, but that's one of the ways that I get inspired. And even Dr. Orwin Bowley, he has helped me as well, giving me inspiration for his playwriting. That's one of the things I want to get involved in as well later on in life, is in my playwriting.
Okay, so the writing is a very big part of your life. How many stories or poems have you written?
Well, poems in the hundreds. Honestly, I don't really know, but I can tell you that my next poetry book, Shades of the Same, has 40 poems in it. Hopefully it will be out sometime next year. And with regard to short stories, somewhere about 35 short stories. Yeah.
Okay. Let's say for instance, how do you come up with your words as to writing your stories and your poems?
Interesting. My last short story was actually I was on a bus, and I overheard two people speaking, and while they were speaking I was on my BlackBerry, and I was like, that conversation is very interesting. So I took some of the lines that they were saying and I built a story around it. So you might see me in my phone or see me not paying attention to you, but my mind is always working. So I might just take a phrase or two of what you tell me and just build an entire story about it. In fact, I took some of your words and created poems and short stories already. So hats off to you for being that inspiration, Naiomi.
Thank you. Did you bring anything for you to read to us today?
I'm happy you said that. Yes, I did. I actually have one of my short stories in Jewels of the Caribbean, which is a book that is published by Podbeck Productions. Actually, it was released this year. One of the 15 short stories in there belongs to me. There's a Caribbean competition. My story is called Here on the Chest. So I'll just read a few lines from Here on the Chest.
Okay, no problem.
Right. Mr. Lazar shouted with all his strength from his feeble, rum-drained body, "Stop it! Leave the woman's child alone." I could smell the alcohol from across the street. "Old man, check your scene, eh?" One of the boys shouted at him. 10-1 is murder, I thought, but 12-1 and the half, with me being the half, and the old man perched by the cane, the one is genocide. I started to prepare myself for the pain of kicks and punches to my face and body. The odds were clearly against me as Mr. Lazar crept across the dirt road. Even the gravel in the middle of the street seemed to knock him from his path. That is a short excerpt from the short story. If anybody wants a copy of the book, they can always check me or my Facebook page or on my blog on blogger.com.
That was a good short story. I actually pictured myself on the road while everything was happening. So you see, your stories, they bring the characters to life. They actually make somebody get into the book, get into the story, and they say, hey, wow, that's an amazing story. Do you have any inspired words for potential writers out there?
Well, the first thing I want to tell people that who are interested in writing is to continue writing, of course. Don't shy away from the art. Always seek to share your work. That's how you get better. That's how people give you constructive criticism. Also, people guide you as well. So, and if you are a writer and you need assistance or you just need to bond with other writers, I am available to assist. I will gladly lend my talents to your development as well, because it also helps me. Also, seek the advice of more senior writers, because they have been there, they have gone through the challenges. Some of the same things that I'm facing were faced by people before me, and their advice has really been instrumental in my development as a writer. But the most important thing as a writer that you can do is write and to share your work. It's important that you share your work and that your voice speaks through your stories.
So seeing that I have inspired some of your short stories, I can come to you?
Yes, you can come to me, and maybe next time when you have me on, I'll actually share one of the works that you inspire.
Definitely. My favorite is Whiskey in My Coffee.
I remember that one.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. We say thank you to Delroy.
Thanks for having me as well.
You're welcome. And we hope that we can do another edition with you. And you are watching ComC TV. Can you see me now?
My name is Delroy Nestor Williams. I'm a writer and I'm on ComC TV. Can you see me now?